Hi, this is Mrs. Carter. We're going to go over week 4, day 5. So on your packet, we have fluency. The fluency says write the unit fraction and fraction form for each shape. So I want you to go ahead and fill out the unit fraction for each of those shapes. And you can pause the video and you can check your answers based off of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the answers. And for each of these fractions, we have the unit fraction. Remember, the unit fraction is one piece of the whole entire fraction. So we have 1/3, 1/4, one piece equals 1/4, 1/2, 1/8, 1/6, and 1/5. The unit fraction is one piece of the fraction that is partitioned. All right, let's move on. New learning. It says, let's learn about completing the number sentence with fraction strips. So this is very similar on day 2. It's talking about fraction strips. So you can see here, they drew out the fraction 3/4, and they shade it in 3 parts because 3/4 is 3 out of the 4 pieces. And they broke up the strip into 4 pieces, and they made each piece the same size, and they labeled each part 1/4. And the unit fraction is one piece of the fraction, which would be 1/4. And now they have a problem. It says, Mr. Stevens buys 8 liters of soda for our party. His guests drink 1 of the 8 liters of soda. So they broke up the fraction strip into 8 pieces because he had 8 liters of soda, and his guest drank 1/8. So his guest drank only 1/8 of the soda. Now the next question asks, what fraction of the soda is left over? So this is what was left over. You can see it made a little marker saying, well, this is what's left over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7/8 of the soda is left over. You just counted the unshaded parts to find what's left over, and you count the shaded part to find how much they drank. All right. Now it says, let's try. It says, complete the number sentence. Estimate to partition each strip equally. Write the unit fraction inside each unit and shade the answer. The first is done for you. A and B are partially complete. So let's look at the sample. They have 2/3. They broke up and partitioned their strip into 3 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, and they shaded 2 pieces because the problem is saying 2/3. The unit fraction is 1/3 because remember, unit fraction is only one piece of the strip or the shape. So let's look at A. It says 3/4. So first I want to figure out how many equal pieces I need to have. So it's going to be 4 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm trying to make it as equal as possible. Now I'm going to write the unit fraction inside of each piece. What is a unit fraction? One piece of this is going to equal what? 1/4. So each of these pieces is 1/4. That's my unit fraction. One piece of the strip or the shape. And then it asks us to shade 3/4. So I'm just going to shade around this. So that's 1, 2, and 3. I'm shading 3 parts because the question is saying 3/4. All right, let's look at the next one. 3/7. So now they leave that fraction blank. So we have to write 3/7 as a fraction. So I know I have 7 equal parts, and we have 3 that goes on top. Now let's write the unit fraction. They put the unit fraction for one piece for us already. So 1/7 of that's 1/7. each piece is going to equal 1/7. That's my unit fraction, 1/7. They already partitioned it into 7 equal pieces for us. Now, remember, the top number is how many pieces I'm going to shade. So I'm going to shade 3 pieces. 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's look at the last problem. 4/5. So I'm going to write the fraction first. 4 goes on top, and we have 5 equal pieces. Now we need to partition our strip. So how many equal pieces am I going to have for my strip? 5. So I'm going to partition it so it has 5 equal pieces and make the pieces as equally as possible. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, now let's write the unit fraction. So one piece of this unit, of this strip, is going to equal what? 1/5. That's my unit fraction. So 1/5 here, 1/5 here, and 1/5 here. Each piece equals 1/5. Good. Now, I need to shade. So how many pieces am I going to shade? Let's look at the problem. It says 4/5. So the top number is always how many pieces I'm going to shade. So 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 4 pieces shaded. All right, good. Let's move on. All right, now we've seen this chart in Lesson 6 of Module 5 before, so this should look very familiar. So let's look at the sample. It shows us a shape, a circle, and it says the total number of equal parts. So the total number of equal parts for this circle is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 equal parts, so they labeled 4 here. Now it says the total number of shaded equal parts, so they counted the shaded parts. 1, 2, 3, and they put 3 here. Now they're asking for the unit fraction. The unit fraction is 1 piece, so one of these pieces is going to equal 1/4. So it's 1/4 is the unit fraction. And the fraction shaded, well, we see that there's 3 parts shaded and there's 4 equal parts, so the fraction shaded is 3/4. So let's look at the next shape. Shape A. It says the total number of equal parts. So let's count each part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 equal parts. Now we need to write the number of pieces that are shaded. So let's count the shaded pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 shaded pieces. Now we need to write the unit fraction. So one of these pieces is going to equal what? Well, we know that there's 9 equal parts, and one piece would be 1/9. Now let's look at the fraction shaded. Well, how many shaded parts are there? We counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that there's 5 shaded parts and 9 equal pieces. So the shaded fraction is 5/9. All right, let's look at part B. Let's count how many total pieces there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 equal parts. Now we need to count the shaded pieces. 1, 2, 3. Now we need to look at the unit fraction. So one of these pieces is going to equal what? So we know that there is 7 equal parts, and one piece would be 1/7. Now we need to write the shaded fraction. We have 3 shaded pieces, and 7 equal parts, so the shaded fraction would be 3/7. All right, let's look at part C. How many equal parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's count how many shaded pieces there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shaded pieces. And one of these pieces is going to equal what? What's a unit fraction? So it's going to be 1. And we know that there's 5 equal parts, so it's going to be 1/5. Now we need to write the shaded fraction. So we know that there's 4 shaded parts and 5 equal pieces. All right, 2 more to go. Let's look at part D. So let's count how many equal parts there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 equal parts. And how many pieces are shaded? 1, 2. So there are 2 pieces shaded. And what is the unit fraction? Remember, the unit fraction is one of these pieces. So one of those pieces is going to be 1/6. And what is the shaded fraction? Well, we know that there's 2 shaded parts, and there are 6 equal parts. So the shaded fraction is 2/6. All right, let's look at the next one. How many equal pieces are there? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 total pieces. And how many pieces are shaded? Well, we know that this whole entire shape is shaded, so there are 8 pieces shaded. Now let's look at the unit fraction. Remember, the unit fraction is one of these pieces. So one of these pieces are going to be equaling to 1/8. One piece, 8 equal pieces. And what is the shaded fraction? So we know that there's 8 pieces shaded and 8 total pieces, so it is 8/8, which also equals 1. All right. Let's look at the next part. It says complete the number sentence. Estimate to partition the strip equally. Write the unit fraction inside each unit. Shade the answer. So we need to partition it, we need to write the unit fraction, and we need to shade. So we have to do 3 things. So let's look at what it says. It says 2/5. So it's asking us to write the fraction first. So 2 goes on top, and fifths means 5, so it's 2/5. So let's partition our fraction strip first. So how many equal pieces do I need to have? I need to have 5. So I'm going to try to partition it as equally as possible. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's write the unit fraction. So one of these pieces is going to equal what? It's going to equal 1/5. So I'm going to write 1/5 in each piece. 1/5. All right, I did the unit fraction. Now my last part is I need to shade. So what is the number on top of my fraction? It's 2. So I'm going to shade 2. Uh-oh. There we go. I'm going to shade 2 pieces. 1 and 2. Good. All right, let's look at the next part. All right, so we have a shape here, and the question says, write what fraction of the circle is shaded. So before I do that, I'm going to find how many equal pieces I have. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is my bottom number because that's how many equal pieces I have. Now I can figure out easily what the shaded fraction is. So how many pieces are shaded? Well, there's 1 piece. So the fraction shaded is 1/8. Now it wants us to write the fraction of the circle that is not shaded. So I know that there's 8 equal pieces, so I'm going to put that at the bottom. Now I can count the white part, which is the unshaded part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's 7 unshaded pieces. So my unshaded fraction is 7/8. All right, now we have a part of the chart very similar to what we just worked on. So what is the total number of equal parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 equal parts. And what is how many shaded pieces are there? 1, 2. And what is a unit fraction? Remember, the unit fraction is one of these pieces, so 1/4. And what's the fraction shaded? Well, I know that I have 2 shaded parts and 4 equal pieces, so my shaded fraction is 2/4. All right, and that's all for week 4, day 5. And I will talk to you guys next time. Remember, you have Zern and ST Math, and make sure that you're watching your videos. If you have any questions on the packet, make sure that you reach out to either Miss Fifield, Miss Fisher, or me. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.